Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Mountaineer Postgame Show. I'm Schuyler. That's Christopher Hall. West Virginia stunned in the second round of the Big 12 Conference Tournament, falling to Colorado, the 16th worst seed that is of the Big 12 Tournament, 67-60. Usually we take a look here at the numbers, but I'm just going to gloss right over that because there's really no point in doing so. We're just going to get right into the elephant in the room here. And that's just the offense was atrocious. Amani Hansberry played a dud of a game. Javon Small was sloppy with the ball at times. It was just a nightmare from really the second half on, or maybe even the last couple minutes of the first half. You just kind of felt like things were trending in that direction. I still figured that they would be able to, put some runs together and find a way to win, but this is a tough loss to swallow, Chris. And, and as I told you before we hopped on, if this was a normal year where the bubble's, pretty competitive, you're probably on the outside looking in after this loss, a team that's only got 14 wins. But like we said before, regardless of what happened today or in this tournament, West Virginia's still probably going to get in.
Yeah, possibly. You said last stretch of the first half, it was really the last like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think they started off 10 of 18 from the field. And if I'm mathing correctly, they finished 10 or 11 of 33 in the next 30 minutes or so. So
33
that's going to
points.
do it every time. It's going to lose you. It's going to lose every time. You played for 10 minutes. I can't even believe Javon Small had 23 points. He was just not aggressive enough. As the point guard, you got to know when the guys aren't playing, you got to step up. I mean, and I'm saying that when he had 23 points.
Well, I mean, six of them came in the last, what,
Right.
minute and a
So
half? So,
he
I
had
mean,
he had 13 in the first, I think, 8 minutes of the game, 10 minutes of the game, and then disappeared. So can't have that. Great player. He's got to know better. Definitely not putting the loss on him. They got good looks around the rim, and I mean, short little jumpers in the paint couldn't knock them down. And that's not small. That was a Connie, Powell, Hansberry. Like they weren't even really contested. Should have been easy buckets. Didn't make them. And the 11 turnovers in the second half. So the second half was just really, really bad. And the defense was nowhere to be found. They had no answer from Malone. Um, Not sure what Hansberry did get in foul trouble early, so not having a true big obviously hurt them. We kind of knew that throughout the year. They kind of lucked out on that a lot. Like they just were able to overcome that so much. But as you can see in postseason play, when there's one-on-one matchups, teams are going to take advantage of it, and Colorado recognized it and were able to early.
yeah, I mean, Hansberry just felt like he was non-existent in this game. Offensively, I mean, he only had 2 points. He was 0 of 5 from the field, both of his points coming from the free throw line there in the second half. Six rebounds. It just felt like he lacked an extra bounce in his step today. It almost looked like that little bit of a stretch. It was towards maybe the beginning part of Big 12 play or the end of non-conference. I can't remember where it was, where he was coming back off that injury and he just didn't have that same energy. And that's kind of what it looked like today. So I'm assuming that he's healthy and okay, but I don't know. That's kind of what I thought he looked like today. And for him, I mean, he's got to play much, much better, like light years better than what he did today if West Virginia has any chance, assuming they do make it, to advance in the NCAA tournament because Javon Small, as good of a player as he is, he's just not selfish. He's not selfish nearly enough. 7 of 15 in a game like that where obviously nobody else is making shots, no one's getting open. He's got to have 25 plus shots in this game. I mean, I know that sounds like a ridiculous number, but I mean, you're the guy. You've got to put the team on your back in that situation. And I don't know. Especially when Hansberry's not hitting shots. Jonathan Powell goes 3 of 9 from the field. I mean, your two quote unquote secondary scorers are just not there. You have to step up and make plays, and he just didn't do that. So really in that second half too, the thing that fueled that turnaround for Colorado was West Virginia went in that scoreless drought, 5+ minutes, happens every time for this team, but
They
really it
had
was
two
just
of
the
those.
turnovers. They had six
They had
straight
two of those.
turnovers. Yeah, two of them.
Two,
But the
two
but the
5 minute
one,
stretches where they didn't score.
yeah. which is a half of the half. But when you have six straight
Quarter of the game.
turnovers leading to a 15-0 run, that's what changed the game right there.
Yeah, it's just poor offense all around. Yes, Fu wasn't attacking the rim as much. I don't know why they continue to try to bounce low bounce passes to Andre. They do it so often, like it doesn't work. Like
In the paint too.
the alley oops were working, but again, it's been the same all season. You hope they were taking a step in the right direction there towards the end of the year. They still had some scoring droughts, but they were able to make some buckets, and it just didn't translate today against a bad Colorado team. I think that's
Yeah.
probably the more head scratching. So, I mean, worst comes to worst, they get an NIT bid and they get to play in Morgantown. So,
Maybe, maybe. I still feel pretty good about it. Like I said, there's going to have to be some chaos that happens, a lot of bid stealers at the mid-major level, because from
yeah,
what it looks like,
Colorado, as bad as they are, they're 90th in the net.
yeah. I
So,
mean, that
that's
just goes to
only a
show you how
quad two.
bad college
That was a
basketball is.
quad two loss. That's what it counts as.
A team that was 13-19 coming
Yeah,
into today,
yeah.
and that's a quad two.
Finished last 16th, dead last in the Big 12, and
Won
they're
two,
90th net. That's incredible.
yeah, won three games in the league. Like that's just not gonna keep you out of the tournament. So West Virginia going into Selection Sunday will not have a single quad three or quad four loss. There are some bubble teams that do have those. And again, the thing here with WVU is they have the signature wins that a lot of these other bubble teams don't have. I mean, you look at North Carolina, for example, they beat Notre Dame today, but they have to almost get to the conference championship game to even have a chance because they're 1-11 in quad one games. West Virginia's got six quad one wins. Like, there's no way that they're going to fall all the way behind teams like Carolina and so on and so forth. But now it's just a matter, in my opinion, of where you're seated, where you're playing, who you're playing, and seeing how that all unshakes. But again, we don't know anything obviously right now, but what do you feel like offensively is the answer for this team to be able to get back on track, win a game in the NCAA tournament, and maybe just maybe find luck, get some luck and win a second game?
They're going to have to attack the rim, especially when teams play zone. And if they're not sucking in, it gives you a one-on-one opportunity at the rim with your defender. But in a zone, the forwards are going to sink down. There's opportunities, and they did it with alley oops. So when guys step up, there's opportunities for backdoors, whatever. Just got to make the passes and but again, passing little skip bounce passes to your 7 foot center is not ideal.
2 feet
So it's
away.
just little things. It's little things. Hit your shots. If they do suck in and you have an open shot from the wing, they didn't really get a lot of those. Um, they stayed on the shooters, and again, that's where you have to finish around the rim. And they just didn't attack the basket. Like at the end of the day, just continue to attack the basket, and the teammates, the rest of the team, um, needs to get opposite to get out the offensive rebound. And more often than not, especially in postseason play, they're going to call a lot of. There wasn't, I would say, a lot of fouls around the rim today, but at the same time, there wasn't a lot of attacking
Yeah.
the rim today from either team. So, I mean, it was just bad. That was like a really bad basketball game all around.
That
Colorado didn't do anything
that
special to win that game.
that to me, I don't even think there's really a close second. That was their worst game of the season. I mean,
Yeah,
it was that bad offensively and defensively too. Like they played well in the first half, some parts of the second half, not a lot, but when they started getting the ball deep into the post with Malone, it felt like they just had no answer. And I know Monty Hansberry was trying to be careful because he was in foul trouble. Andre's got to be cognizant of that too, so he doesn't get in foul trouble. But at the same time, you got to have some sort of physicality, or you got to find a way to face guard him, double team him. And I mean, I know they tried that the one time with Javon Small and the kid that shoots nearly 40% knocked down a three, but they just had no answers. Once they started to really funnel the offense through Malone,
right.
it felt
And
like it was game
they
over.
gained confidence because they weren't doing anything offensively.
Yeah,
They were up nine. during the second half.
Yeah.
So you had all the momentum, and then you just gave it right back to him with silly turnovers. So
And I think the most maddening thing, if you're a West Virginia fan, is like you talked about the little bounce passes to Andre. But it's the extra pass that has kind of killed this team at times. Like sometimes it's good to have that extra pass. Jonathan Powell's kind of been the culprit of this, where he had it today. I think there was even two times it happened where he had the ball in the paint, and instead of just putting up a floater or a little jump shot, he boom goes to an extra pass to Andre, and it bounces off his hands or his feet, and then you have a turnover. Take the dang shot. Like you
all
don't
right,
need the extra pass, but. That's March Madness for you, baby. It's here and it's good and well. So West Virginia falls again, 67-60 in the second round of the Big 12 tournament. That'll do it for us here today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page at West Virginia on SI. Give us a follow on X at SI_WVU. We'll be back probably Sunday or Monday to talk about the tournament selection show, where the Mountaineers end up, assuming they do make it. If they don't, we'll still be here making an episode to talk about that as well. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you here in a few days. Take care.